Hi Pisces, welcome to your April 2024 horoscope. April has a lot in store for us. We have a solar eclipse, we have a Mars conjunction with Saturn, and we also have the Jupiter and Uranus conjunction. Let's get into some more details so you know exactly what to expect. On April 3rd, Venus conjuncts Neptune in your first house. This is such a beautiful aspect, especially to have in your first house, Pisces. Venus and Neptune together can represent this beautiful, unconditional love that transcends human reality. And because it's happening in your first house, it could be that you really find others are attracted to you and giving you this type of unconditional acceptance and love. But it could also mean that you are able to direct that more easily to yourself. 2 days later, Venus enters your second house, or the sign of Aries. As it does that, it sextiles Pluto in your 12th house. I spoke extensively about Pluto through all of the 12 houses, so if you want to get more in-depth analysis on that, then I recommend watching this video right here. However, for the context of April, this specific conversation between Venus and Pluto will most likely touch on the fact that you're being asked to connect with others beyond the physical. Pluto in your 12th house is all about compassion. It's all about letting go of the physical realities of the people around you and looking at them through this lens of another human soul. And now with this sextile with Venus in your second house, it could be that when you do that, when you extend this compassion to others, no matter their humanly role, no matter, if they're rich or poor or homeless or whatever, that it has a positive impact on your self-confidence, and it has a positive ripple effect for you as well, and the way you view yourself. On April 8th, we have a solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, which for you is your second house. The solar eclipse means that both the sun and the moon are in the sign of Aries, and they are in the decan ruled by the sun. This could mean that the actions we take during the solar eclipse are motivated more from our ego and from a sense of protecting ourselves rather than this true inner parts of ourselves. Mercury is also retrograde during the solar eclipse. So keep in mind that things that we say could easily be misunderstood by others. And this for you, Pisces, is happening in your second house. So there's definitely this underlying feeling of stepping into your own power, taking care of yourself, and not needing to rely on others, knowing that you have your own back. A couple of days later, on the 10th of April, Mars conjuncts Saturn in your first house. With Mars in your first house, you're probably quite motivated and quite out there in the world, sort of being authentically yourself. However, Saturn might be putting a damper on it. Saturn might be slowing it down and might be saying, nope, not today. Try tomorrow. And I want to say, don't let that discourage you. Saturn still wants you to reach your end destination, but it just wants you to consider if you're being mature in the way that you're getting there, or if you need to adjust and take a different approach. On April 17th, Venus conjuncts the North Node, very close to where we had the solar eclipse earlier in the month. So as a matter of fact, I would say this is a perfect day to take some time and reflect on what you learned during the solar eclipse. It's been a couple of days since the solar eclipse, so hopefully you have the emotional space, mental space, physical space from what actually happened, and you're able to look at it in a more objective way and be able to pull the lessons out from it. On April 20th, it's the big day. because we have a Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in the sign of Taurus. This is happening in your third house. During this conjunction, we have two other things happening. So the Sun has also just recently entered the sign of Taurus, and Mars is sextiling the conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus. Jupiter has been traveling through your third house, Pisces, for about a year. So you might have been finding it very easy to communicate with others, to say just the things that you know they need to hear. But at the same time, Uranus has also been going through your third house for much longer than Jupiter has. And what Uranus brings with it is the highest highs and the lowest lows. And you might have especially been experiencing that with your communication, maybe even with your local surroundings, your neighborhood, your siblings, your neighbors, for example. And now that they're conjunct, it's almost like they're sitting down for coffee together and seeing if they can learn anything from each other. And I really think that on this day, there might be a sort of epiphany or revelation that comes your way that really helps you synthesize the last little while with both Jupiter and Uranus in your third house and the lessons that you learned there. Just a day later, on the 21st of April, because the Sun has moved a little bit further into the sign of Taurus, it squares Pluto in your 12th house. Because this is more of a tense aspect between your 3rd and 12th house, it could be that the way you're communicating is making it difficult for you to keep being in touch with this compassionate nature inside of you, to continue giving and accepting others for who they are without judging how they appear as humans here on this earth. And it could work the other way. When you sort of see others and you recognize them for their true nature, it can make it a bit difficult to really communicate what you're actually feeling or how much you appreciate them, or to even be able to say something that can match the level of what you're thinking about. So there might be a bit of a disconnect there between what you're feeling and how you convey that. On the 24th of April, there's a full moon in Scorpio in your 9th house. The Sun is in Taurus in your 3rd house. It could be that all of the communication you've been doing lately, or all of the ways that you've been maybe even also struggling with communicating and relaying your thoughts to others, is making it quite clear to you that perhaps you don't spend enough time withdrawing from others, coming back to yourself, taking time to contemplate, taking time to think before speaking. So there could really be this dichotomy of, speaking too much and not being able to convey everything, versus allowing yourself the time and space to remove yourself from the situation, think about what's happening, form your opinion, and then return back and address it afterwards. On April 28th, Mars conjuncts Neptune in your 1st house. If you want to plan like a birthday party or even anything else, like just a celebration of yourself, Pisces, this is a wonderful day to do it. Mars in your 1st house, it's really about taking actions to put yourself out there, to show your true identity to others. And Neptune gives it this sort of beautiful, loving, transcendental energy as well. Or if you have like an interview or an audition where you want others to view you in a nice way as well, this could be like a really day to do that. And finally, we close off the month on the 30th of April with both Venus and Mars returning to their homes. Venus returns to Taurus and Mars returns to Aries. And this could probably feel like a breath of fresh air after all the craziness we experienced in April. So you could especially find it easy to express your emotions. You might find it a lot easier than you did during the middle of the month. And this is because, yeah, like I said, Venus and Mars are back where they feel at ease. They are comfortable with those territories. They know how to behave and just what to do. So at least even if just for a while, we can take a breath of fresh air and not have to overthink everything or always worry about reflecting and improving ourselves, for example, which can also be very nice. Pisces. There's a lot of focus on your first house. So making sure that you are out there, you're really conveying who you are properly to others, and as well communication. Communication came up a bunch of times with the transits. So you might notice that it continues to be a part of the challenges or the lessons that you continue to face in the month of April. I hope you enjoy April, and I hope you enjoyed this horoscope and you found it useful and helpful. And let me know down in the comments which transit you're the most excited about. Is there one you're looking forward to? Let me know. If you want to make sure you catch the May horoscopes, which will be coming in about a month, then make sure you subscribe. I hope to see you again soon.